Hi everyone, and welcome back to Dolls and DIYs. Today's video is very special. It's a 50 subscriber special on how I store my doll stuff. And before we move on, I just want to take a moment to say that I'm so grateful for 50 subscribers. I can't believe 50 human beings have subscribed to me, and that is just so amazing. So thank you all so much. But yeah, this video is going to be about how I store my doll stuff, so let's get started. Okay, so first up is how I store my doll food, and a lot of people have asked me this. I do have a lot of doll food since it's one of my favorite things to collect from AG, and I also have some off-brand foods in here too, like Shopkin Real Littles and mini brands, and those work really well too. But anyways, I store all my food in this Stanley Black & Decker container, and each compartment is really nice. They are removable, so if I want to take them out, I can dump them out. And as you can see, each category is like sorted, and I think this is a really easy way to find my doll food. Now, of course, you don't have to keep all of your doll food neatly stored away. I also have some food that's on display to make the kitchen look a little more lived in. And this is really up to you, but you don't have to have it all in one container. Now moving on to how I store my doll clothes. I keep them in these little plastic shoe containers that you can find easily at your local store. And inside I have different types of clothes. For example, this one is for tops, so I have things like sweaters and t-shirts and all of that good stuff. And then in this next bin, I have some bottoms like skirts and shorts and pants, and I think organizing things this way makes it very easy to find what I need. And here's another look at the organized bins. I keep mine out in the open for easy access, and also since I don't have a closet, but if you do have a closet, then this is a good part to put away. That way it's not all crazy in your workspace. And next to these, I store my TV screens, and if you've watched my DIY television video, then you know what these are. I just store them under this little space under the living room floor, and that works nicely. Moving on to my hair, accessories, and necessities. I have this American Girl like hairstyling caddy. On the top, I have two brushes, one for my blonde haired dolls and one for my darker haired dolls, and also a spray bottle. And then underneath that, in these little drawer compartments, I have things like hair ties, bobby pins, brushes, and picks. And these are all useful things for when I do my doll's hair. So I have them all stored nicely in there, and that works pretty well for me. I also have a pretty wimpy amount of American Girl doll books, but if you have a lot of them, I recommend storing them just on a regular bookshelf or on a cute little shelf display if you have a lot of them. But for now, since I have like 3, I just lean them against whatever's there, and yeah. And next to this, I have more plastic bins, and this holds things that are not in my dollhouse at the moment, but I do want somewhat easy access to whenever the time comes when I need them. And this top bin is the Crafts in Progress bin. So I have little things here that I've bought and that I'm eventually going to make crafts out of. And so that's in there. Then the second bin down, I have a bunch of hangers, and I store my doll stuff in these bins, obviously, so I don't have a use for the hangers. But whenever the time comes, I have them right there. And then under that, we have the food items that I don't use often, but I want easy access to, and that is there. It's very messy, so sorry about that. I know this is trying to give you tips on how to store stuff, and my stuff isn't even stored nicely. But there you go. That's just a look at my food-ish things. And then the very last bin underneath this is the miscellaneous bin. So I have things like a suitcase, scarves, hats, pins, a microscope for good measure, It's just a bunch of junk and a bunch of messiness, but at least it's tucked away in a little container, so it's not too crazy. Last but not least, I'm going to show you how I store my adult craft supplies. And basically, I just have this stacked tower that I got from Target, and that pretty much holds all of my things. But the things that do not fit, like wooden dowels and contact paper rolls, I have here neatly leaned against the side. And also on the top, I have my collection of scrapbook papers, and I do have a lot of those, so I just put them on the top right there. And in the top drawer, I have my hot glue sticks. I have this gigantic bag of them since I go through so many. Then I have my trusty hot glue gun and a few random wooden objects. For example, I have this weird birdhouse, some wooden like ball handle things, and skinny sticks. And I definitely do need to get more of those. Okay, moving on to the middle drawer. We have some fun foam. I have it in all sorts of rainbow colors. And yeah, I just have that stacked there. And then I have modeling air dry clay, which comes in handy sometimes. And then the bottom drawer is the craziest. I have all my paints, and I use this paper plate as my paint palette, and I have no idea why I drew a frown on there, so just ignore that, I guess. Behind that, though, we have all of my different paints, and I do have a lot of them, I guess. I kind of have a hoard of little paint bottles, but I have them in all sorts of different colors, and then I have my big ones like white, brown, red, and black, which I use very often. And then in front of that, I have my stash of paintbrushes that I've collected since I was in like elementary school, but they work really well, so I keep them, and that is my paint drawer. It's very messy, so I'm very sorry. But yeah, that is just an overview of all the craft supplies I have and how I store them. So that just about wraps up this video. First of all, I hope you got some ideas, and second of all, if not that, I hope you had fun watching me show off all of my beautiful organization tips. And yeah, I just hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again next week.